What is going on, everyone? My name is Tyler, aka Doc, and I'm here with my co-host Jordan, aka Duke. And this is the first episode of Duke and Doc's DCU adventure. It's our DCU podcast specifically for the James Gunn's DCU. So yeah, here we are.
What is up, everybody? What is up? We finally have found the time for two of the biggest DC nerds, movie, comics, TV show related, to sit down and talk about everything coming up and currently going on with the DCU. Ran by our Lord and Savior James Gunn. And Peter Safran. Don't forget Peter. We got to put Peter in there too.
Oh man.
I'm excited to do this, man. I kind of like how me and you were talking. There's not really a big avenue, and I don't see a lot of saturation with what's going on with DC.
Yeah.
Marvel's been big for so many years now, and I think we're hitting that curve finally where it's like Marvel had their turn. People are kind of getting a little burnout, getting a little upset with them bringing people back, and DC's like, oh hey, we're still over here, and we're gonna give you a whole new universe.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
the thing is too, and we've talked about this outside of the podcast, but there is talk about James Gunn's DC, but not so much in, I don't know about a positive light, but there's a lot of, I see a lot of people wanting it to fail, and I'm not one of those people. So
Right. Exactly.
I think the more positivity we can bring to it, I think the better, and we can bridge that divide of the Snyder Bros and fans of James Gunn.
Exactly. And that, if anything comes out of this podcast, literally, no fame, nothing, James Gunn never wants to come on here and talk to us or anything. I hope what does come out of this is we get the Snyder Bros and the Gunn lovers, and we merge them together and realize it's all DC. Let's just come together and let's just be happy we're getting this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's side note. That's how I feel about the Star Wars community too. You've got your people who love the original trilogy, the prequels, and then you've got the sequel lovers, which are not that many anymore. But let's just come together. It's one franchise.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Anyways, so with that being said, let's jump into our first topic, which is movie news. And there's some stuff happening there.
There is.
You have something that I don't know yet, so
I'm excited to hear that. Right. Do we want to go with that first, or do we want to talk about the stuff that's kind of already happened that we were already planning on?
We can, yeah.
We can do breaking news from the jump. First ever episode.
Yeah.
The day we're filming this, I'm going to drop some news on you, okay?
Let's go for it.
So I got up today and, did the typical social media scrolling. And James Gunn had made a post. And it directly involves the new Superman film, the sequel to the Superman movie.
Man of Tomorrow, is that what it is?
So Man of Tomorrow. So as of 5 hours ago, Deadline Hollywood's reporting, specifically from James Gunn, who reported it first. I even seen his original post, that we have now had our Brainiac actor casted. You can kind of see it there. The camera's a little bright, but
can't tell who that is.
He announced it. I can tell you, his name is Lars Ettinger, and he's a German actor. And James Gunn announced that his audition is what really sold him on it. But we now officially have Brainiac casted, which it's kind of crazy because I know a lot of people were speculating that Dave Bautista was going to be Brainiac. That way he could play a role outside of the physical stuff. Or the one dude from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that played the villain in that. People wanted him. He was also in Peacemaker Season 1. Can't remember his name.
Who did he play in Peacemaker Season 1?
He was the head of the team, and then he ended up being one of the aliens.
Oh,
but he was the high evolutionary from Guardians 3. People thought it was going to be him. Well, I probably wouldn't have minded it. I just think it's too similar to stuff he's already done. And I know James Gunn's whole thing is he brings his boys on and has them play roles. His brother obviously has roles, a couple of roles now. But this is cool. I mean, this guy, I think, just looking at him, I'm imagining the ports and stuff on his head, and of course his red dots he's got or whatever, however they're going to design him, but the green skin, I can see it. And I think, one, that's great. We've got casting now for the villain of Brainiac, which we all knew it was going to be Brainiac.
Yeah.
Because apparently this movie is supposed to be a team up with Superman and Lex Luthor. Why would you need one of the smartest men in the DC universe, who is his literal mortal enemy, for Superman? Why would Superman need to team up with him for Brainiac? Which is exciting. How do you feel? How do you feel about the fact, one, we're getting Brainiac, and two, we did get a casting, but it's not no big name that's like just for star power.
Yeah, I think that's good, and I kind of think that that's the route he's taking, anyways. I mean, I'll take Peacemaker away from the universe. Superman, like David Cornsweet, like I had no idea who he was until Superman. Honestly, I know he had done movies, but I had never seen him in anything. And so I like the idea of unknown people, or not well-known people, taking the reins. Because if you look back at the previous universe, you know, we had pretty big names playing those characters. Ben Affleck, for one.
Yeah, huge names.
I know. I think Man of Steel's what put Henry Cavill on the map. That or The Witcher, but yeah, most of those people we had already known, and so it's really nice to get unknown people. And as for having Brainiac, great idea, because I hate when they pick random villains that nobody cares about,
right,
to be in the movies. That's just me. That's just me. I want to see the big bads, and Brainiac is a huge Superman villain. So also, with Supergirl coming out, to introduction of Brainiac, who knows? Brainiac 5 gonna show up. And,
that's true. That's true. Well, I'm assuming, obviously, one, he doesn't look like he's necessarily a heavily older actor as well. I mean, he might be like, you know, mid-30s. He's 50?
50, yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I feel like he's going to show up throughout the DC universe.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of when they casted Paul Bettany as Jarvis, knowing he's going to be Vision. Where, like, it's like, oh, he's the voice. Okay, we know who that actor is, so that's an iconic voice. But then they're like, oh, no. He's also going to be Vision, and he's going to be able to play him for, you know, the 10 years that they ended up doing that. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited. We've never got, like, I know we've gotten, like, TV shows and stuff. We've got a version of Brainiac, or that version of Brainiac, but, like, on the big screen, Brainiac against Cornsweet Superman and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. Dude, that's going to be sick.
Yeah, that dynamic already, that dynamic between the two of them, David Cornsweet's Supes, and Lex, like, it's so good. It's so good. We just started watching Smallville recently, and I forgot the dynamic and the chemistry between Tom Welling and Michael
Rosenbaum.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, who played Lex? But that's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit. There's a beautiful chaos in that relationship. So I'm excited to see them work together. But I'm also looking at a picture of this guy, and I'm like, he has the facial structure for Brainiac. So I'm very excited to see what he looks like in the prosthetics.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's cool. I'm excited for it. I like a lot of the ideas with this, because I think Brainiac is the type that, like, people are going to go to the theater and be like, wait, Superman and Lex Luthor are teaming up?
Yeah.
And then when they realize, like, how big of a bad guy Brainiac is, the casual moviegoer is going to be like, okay, that makes sense. And, like, the story's already kind of shaping, and I like that James Gunn, it seems like so far everything that he's done definitely is building and has a purpose, and it's not just this movie got announced with this actor, we're working on a director and a script. No, like, I like that he's even came out and said, I get a script turned in first, then I start building the pieces out from there. You're not ever going to get just like, this director's attached to direct this project, we have no script, no actor, no nothing. Or be like, hey, this actor really wants to play, kind of like Alan Richardson. Everybody, you know, kind of, there's a lot of people that want him to be Batman. If they were to come out tomorrow, if they were to come out tomorrow and be like, Alan Richardson's going to play Batman in the DCU, we just don't know when. while I would be okay, because then that would clear up a little bit of the idea that we have a Batman finally, or who's going to play him, so I can put the face to it. I like the approach that Gunn does, where it's like, no, we're going to get a story first.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to figure this out.
No,
because
that's
what, at the end of the day, that's the main thing. A good script will always lead to casting the right people, and then once the right people are casted, then the story looks way better on screen because the script is good. You build off of the script. So.
Yeah, no,
This guy clearly looks like he's going to be just an evil bad guy, and that's going to be cool to see Lex and Superman team up. So.
The fact that he's German as well, I think, also adds to that. I don't know why.
A little extra there. Yeah.
No, that's great news. I had no idea that dropped today.
Yeah.
But in other news, I know we're a little bit behind, but we got the Supergirl trailer. We're giving positivity for the DCU. I am excited, but I'm also very apprehensive, just because Kara is one of my favorite characters in the DC universe, and it's a different take on her altogether. And so I'm leaning. Like I'm not leaning. I'm leery, very very much.
Leery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that too. I don't know, man. I've loved Millie Alcock since House of the Dragon season 1. She was phenomenal as Rhaenyra Targaryen, which I guess apparently like news came out that like on the set they like one of the producers or somebody came up to her and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get you an acting coach because you don't know how to act." And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. But okay, which I mean, good on her for not giving up after that, because like. While she was in like the first half of that season, then once her character was like aged out and like she's kind of in flashbacks, like good on her, because like she didn't let that stop her, and now look at her, she's going to be in a Supergirl movie that we haven't had since that original Supergirl movie, which was like late 70s, early 80s? Yeah. So, from the trailer. I did want to talk to you about this, and I'm glad we waited to talk about this on a podcast. I love the trailer. I love Millie Alcock as Supergirl. This little bit when she was in Superman, when she showed up, I was so excited. And I know this is heavily based off of the comic, right? The main comic that a lot of people that like Supergirl have read and that they enjoy. The name's blanking on me right now. Is it Woman of Tomorrow, right? Or something. Supergirl. Can't remember. But, like, the whole thing is, like, she's, like, dealing with grief and stuff like that, and she's traveling. Yeah. A lot of the trailer reminded me of the Guardians 3 trailer.
Yes.
And my only issue, like, that's not even an issue necessarily. My only thing is like, that was, of course, a lot of the comments on the video. But then... it's like a lot of people were counteracting with, okay, but this literally isn't directed by James Gunn.
Yeah, that's true. I saw that as well.
It's a completely different director. James Gunn didn't write this. Like, it's almost, I feel like the trailer was kind of like a love letter of like what James Gunn did for Marvel and the Guardians movie, because what they're doing with Supergirl, it's like, hey, this is how a James Gunn trailer would look, and that's going to get people excited, because the average moviegoer, they're going to look and be like, huh, it kind of reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's Supergirl. I'm going to go check that out.
Yeah. That you say that, and yes, it's not directed by James Gunn, but I mean, it's still his world. But then I also think about, you mentioned how it's a trailer, and trailers are cut different than how the movie's cut. And so I think we can't judge a book by its cover. We can't judge a movie by its trailer. And so, but I'm still very like unsure.
Is it now? Are you unsure about like her as an actress and like how she's going to play Kara, or are you unsure about the story?
It's not her ability, because what I saw in Superman, just a little bit that she's in there, I enjoyed it. It's a different Kara. It's more of, I'm unsure of the story, and I'm just unsure of the characterization of her. I know you said it's based off one of the comics, which it is Woman of Tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome.
But that one of my favorite interpretations of Kara is the Injustice 2 Kara and the Supergirl show Kara.
Okay.
So
that's not bad versions to pick.
It's not bad versions.
Not bad at all. Those are both really good.
I also enjoyed the Kara from Crisis on Infinite Earths, like the trilogy movie set.
Yeah. Okay.
And so having more of a wild child Kara is different from me, but I can get behind it if it's a good story. And
Right.
I trust Gunn. I've trust Gunn so far.
Right. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, that's definitely like valid points to bring up. And I mean, there's always that like, please don't let this destroy this character type situation. Definitely when like me being as big of a Batman fan as I am, anytime there's something project with Batman involved, I'm like, oh God, please don't make this where people get so tired of Batman. They're done. I don't need another George Clooney days.
Don't watch the Flash.
I don't. Yeah. I thought the trailer was good. Like I said, I am excited for her to be Kara. I think she's going to do really well. Parts of the trailer, I feel like there's some of the stuff I wish they would have left out. Just because for the people that read the comic, and I'm sure this is going to be pretty similar to the comic. They might change a few things here and there, and that'll be fine too. But there's a couple of things in that trailer I would consider heavy spoilers. A main one with a certain character that was from the Superman movie that a lot of people loved. Now, how did you feel about the small glimpse we got of Momoa as Lobo in the trailer?
Oh, I was going to mention that. I'm excited. I don't know how it feel. I'm excited, but I don't have much because it was such a tiny glimpse.
Yeah.
And everybody for years have been saying that that's who he should play, and it's great that he's still in the universe as a different character.
And apparently Momoa is a massive fan of Lobo, like has a bunch of his comics too.
So I'm excited for that. But as of right now, because I don't really know the role he's going to play in the movie. It's just that's the other issue too, is I don't want it to be a spectacle. Like, oh, he's showing up in this movie for like 5 seconds and then that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I agree. Here's my thoughts on this, just from the trailer, from what I've seen, right? Because it is kind of similar to like Guardians, the style of it, even though it's not by Gunn. I feel like Lobo will be similar to how Adam Warlock was in Guardians 3. You know how he was like on their tail, but like he would show up when stuff had already happened, and which is fine with me because I mean he's a bounty hunter, so his whole thing is I'm trying to find them, and he's probably taken her to a collector. Or there's actually a really good episode of Superman the Animated Series where Lobo gets paid to go get Superman because he's one of the last remaining Kryptonians for this guy that's collecting these like dying off species. Lobo's strong enough, for people that don't know, Lobo is strong enough to fight Superman toe to toe. He's an intergalactic space bounty hunter. Like, bro is a tank. But I am excited to see that. Which this will come up for a later segment. That I have a question for you about with that whole situation and the trailer.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I think the trailer did really well. I think it's got, I mean, the reviews, or at least the thumbs up and dislikes on it, are really, really well, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
Definitely for, like, if we're comparing to others, which, again, we're not comparing, we're not making a Marvel versus DC argument, because you're dumb if you don't think you can't like both. But, like, compared to, like, the Black Widow trailer, or some of these other, like, Captain Marvel, like, there's normally a lot of people either just rage baiting by just putting the thumbs down on it, or the dislikes.
Yeah.
But I think with the way Gunn left Superman and how well Peacemaker 1 and Season 2 is received, I think that's where DC's in a good spot, where it's like, as long as the quality of these scripts that you guys are pumping out and putting into these shows is good, I think you're going to have a lot of people giving you that thumbs up. So.
Yeah, no, I agree.
A lot of excitement built up too.
You bring up a good point though. Like going back, people were comparing it to Guardians, but I just thought about this too. I saw a comment that was like, it compared the trailer to Guardians mixed with Captain Marvel, and I think this could be DC's Captain Marvel, but better. because I've said this recently in a it was a post on Facebook, I think, and it was no, yeah, it was a reel. Somebody was like going around asking people like Batman versus da 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 da, and it was Superman versus Supergirl, and I think I picked Supergirl over Superman because Clark himself even said Supergirl's stronger than him. Um, and so I just think, if done right, this Supergirl could be what Captain Marvel should be for the MCU. Not comparing, but I'm just saying,
Right,
if
right.
done right. So
I think I agree with you on that. I think one, because the biggest thing, like with Captain Marvel, for the average moviegoer that doesn't read comics, which I know like we're starting to change and the culture's really changing, but
yeah,
a lot of people that didn't read comics when Captain Marvel came out, not a lot of people really knew that character.
right,
Which I know not a lot of people knew Guardians of the Galaxy. Me myself, I went to watch it because it was a Marvel property and it looked cool. It looked like
yeah,
it was going to be a fun time. Boy, did I come out loving that and was excited for the next one.
right,
And then I got to know these characters a lot more. But, not everybody can keep up with every title that Marvel and DC is dropping. Where you see that big S, you know what you're going into.
yeah, exactly.
I do think the line at the end where he sees the good in people and I see the truth,
Yeah,
loved that.
that was great.
Oh my lord, I was like, that is how you nail an ending to a trailer.
Yeah,
Boom. Like,
that's
that's a
great.
stamp. So,
And that's what gives me hope for the movie is that line by itself, is because to me that is Kara. Um, but
no,
anyways,
I
yeah.
agree. So, overall, then, we think the trailer was a
Oh, it was
plus.
great.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it was
it
a
was
good
good.
trailer.
It was good. It's just like I said, there's just some apprehensiveness to what the movie could be. But yeah, for a
Character, yeah.
trailer, it was good. I was excited for it to come out, and
Yeah.
then it came out. Um, yeah. Other than that, I think unless there's something I'm missing, that's kind of it in movie news right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, because, well, we got, I think they showed a little bit more stuff for the Lantern show. Which I think looks good.
I'm
I'm thinking
excited.
I'm really excited with that. I think we got a little bit more of that. Um, I think the biggest news, which it might be maybe in your next segment or whatever, because I know that we've talked about the trailer, the Warner Brothers Netflix deal. How are we feeling? Because it's probably going through. From what I could tell, I guess it sounds like one of the higher ups at Warner Brothers, said not to even like worry about the whole, because I guess Paramount's making like a hostile like bid towards it to try and buy it out from under Netflix.
So with that, I was really into it. Then I was like, I'm, because what happened when I heard that news? What happened is I kept getting false news about Gunn being fired, and I'm like, there's no way. Like there's no way. Even if they bought the rights to the Warner Brothers property, I don't think they would scrap what has just been established. Because I think Superman did really well. Peacemaker 2 did really well. So I don't see them Netflix being stupid and being like, "Oh, we're going to reboot the DCU again." So I just kind of gave up on the information for it cuz I was like, if it happens it happens, if it doesn't it doesn't. But I am getting nothing but false, like fake news. So, as of right now, I don't know what new things have happened with it. Um, but I did want to talk about it because I know you're a little bit more into it than I am. Because somehow you find information that I don't. Because all I get is like the hate comments.
There's like, oh, okay, I guess we're on that today.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess 3 days ago there was, because I mean, I think from everything I've read, it looks like this is pretty much going to be a done deal.
Sure.
Netflix is very much acting like it's a done deal. There is a lot of hate. There's a lot of people, and there's even some bigger, celebrities coming out saying that this will be the death of cinema if Netflix buys Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I think that's an overreaction. Look at it like this. They're literally putting the last episode, which is over 2 hours long, of Stranger Things in theaters to let people watch. Or, if you're not a theater person, and you just want to sit at home and watch it, it's going to be on there the same day. But you still get to experience it in a theater, which I think is really cool, and I'm probably going to go and watch it that way too, because I would like to watch something like that on the big screen, and if it's the last of the last, then do it. But they looks like they did confirm 3 days ago. Netflix says they will keep WB and its studios separate from Netflix, meaning DeLuca and Abdi will continue running WB Pictures, Gunn and Safran will continue running DC, Brenner will continue running New Line, and I'm assuming this is Dom Schmecki will continue running WB Pictures Animation. Okay, so this idea that it's like Netflix is going to take over and like they're just going to rip everything off HBO Max and put it on Netflix, and then like I know there's a lot of people that's like, oh well, Netflix gave Zack Snyder, those Rebel Moon movies, so they'll probably bring back the Snyderverse. Snyder fans, I hate to tell you this, and trust me, we both are fans of the Snyderverse. There's things that we really like about the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
No,
it's not, unless it's like some mega deal, probably animation or something like that, for them to finish out that Justice League that Snyder had planned, which might be years down the road, because you can never say never, because a lot of people thought, including some bigger like social media influencers, I'm thinking of John Campia obviously, we'd never get the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
there's videos of them saying it's not a thing, it's not happening, it never will happen. Guess what, we got the Snyder Cut, and I'm sure you probably agree it was a banger.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. It was really good. But to think like Netflix is going to get Warner Brothers and then immediately fire James Gunn and Safran when this thing's just starting to get off the ground, to then bring Snyder back to maybe do a Justice League movie and try to get all those actors back. A lot of them were burned by what Warner Brothers did to them. Netflix isn't going to be able to change a lot of that. Affleck acts like he has no desire at all to ever get back in the Batsuit. And that's fine. As much as I loved his Batman, I don't think he wants to come back. With all the stuff with Gal Gadot, doubt we ever see her as Wonder Woman ever again. And then, if I'm Henry Cavill, like, at least James Gunn even said, once he took over and then the whole Black Adam stuff came out, he called Henry, and Henry's like, okay, well, let me be the one to tell everybody I'm no longer doing this.
Yeah.
I don't think he would come back either. And look, the Witcher stuff, he was getting upset with them about that, where they replaced him there. So the idea that, like, if Netflix takes over, that's going to work? Nah, bro. That's not how that's going to work. Netflix came out and said that's not how it's going to work. They would be ignorant to let go of Safran and James Gunn after this thing is just now kicking into high gear.
Yeah.
So, I think everybody that's overreacting online, take a chill pill. He's already got like a 3 to 5 year plan already for DC. We're going to probably get all of that. They'd be stupid to take that away.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was something, and I'm assuming it was fake. There was something I saw on one of these pages, something about how Netflix and Zack Snyder came to an agreement about turning the Justice League series into animated movies, but I don't know how true that was. Because again, I think that was just a bunch of Snyder bros who were like, we're getting it, and it's like, yeah. I don't think so, but all right.
I mean, I guess if you throw enough coins in the wishing well, maybe something will come true, but no, I as cool as it is, he pretty much gave up all the storyboards and told exactly what's going to happen. At this point, It's like, why would you even then waste money to make it unless there is literally a massive, massive fan outcry? And it would take Supergirl to come out and flop. It would take Lanterns to suck. It would take... I know we're not technically getting Peacemaker Season 3, but whatever we do with that... It would take all of this stuff to come out and be awful for them to even, I think, consider revisiting anything like that. And I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I agree. But yeah, looking at it, it sounds like to me it's going to be they're just really kind of Netflix will just be taking over the distribution, not really taking control of the creative side of it, which I think is great. And going back to your cinema comment, I mean, you mentioned Stranger Things, but like K-pop Demon Hunters blew up and they released that in theaters. So, I mean, if something is big enough and the fandom wants it, Netflix will, buckle, and they will, put it out there for people to see. So,
yeah, and trust me, DC, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, that's big enough. That's a fandom that those fandoms are massive. If
Yeah.
they think like Netflix is just going to shut it all down and not send stuff to theaters, they're insane. Because
Yeah.
Netflix wants some of that money too.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing this.
The thing is, this is just me. I would rather go to Netflix than Disney, because if Disney got a hold of that, I think it would be over at that point.
Yeah.
Disney would have almost every single big franchise under their belt.
Yeah, that is my thing too. Like a lot of people are like, no, just let the dude that runs Marvel, Kevin Feige. Yeah, they're like, no, just Disney buy it up and let Kevin Feige do that. Here's the thing, I don't want Marvel DC crossovers yet. I don't want anything like media wise.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a video game. A video game would be fun. I could do like a fighting game crossover wise. They're doing the Batman Deadpool comic that's a crossover that they haven't done a crossover with in years. Yeah. That's cool. I do not want to see Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom or Iron Man with whatever Batman we have on screen yet. I want a DC universe first before we do anything like that. Right. So, yeah, if Disney would have been like, hey, we'll consider buying that from you. Could you imagine loading up Disney Plus to watch The Sopranos? That would be insane, bro.
Oh, man.
Or White Lotus, or some of these other weird shows.
I mean, we got Deadpool Wolverine, and that's on Disney Plus. So, I mean, that's the closest I think we're going to get to anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I mean, Disney does own, which I'm a big fan of, actually one of my favorite movies of all time for people listening. Disney does own Alien and Predator. And Predator Badlands is like the most Marvel-style Predator movie I've ever seen, and it was phenomenal.
Really?
It was a straight-up PG-13 sci-fi action film, and it was phenomenal. Casting was great. Ella Fanning is... I need her somewhere in the DC universe. I would love to have her in there because actress-wise, she is incredible. But yeah, no, it is kind of weird because like I load up, Hulu or now Disney Plus to watch like Alien Earth, which was great, but very violent. I wouldn't want Disney to get it. And honestly, I think out of all the like people that were like going for it, I think Paramount's pretty low on the bar. I think it was probably Netflix and Peacock that in my mind I was like, that would make sense. I could see them doing.
Gotcha. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So going off of that, I think that is the end of the movie news, of any kind of news like that.
Yeah. For now.
I don't think we're going to talk about Peacemaker because that's been a minute since that came out.
You've seen that. I mean, hopefully everybody's seen it. If you haven't, go watch Peacemaker now. Yeah. Stop what you're doing. Throw it in the dumpster, even if it's hopefully not a child. Don't do that. But go watch Peacemaker. It's so good.
Yeah. You can start with season 1 if you want to, or you can just do season 2. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, other than that, I say we move on to... I don't know. We're kind of at a free-for-all at this point. You wanted to talk to me about something. You wanted to bring it up. Do you remember what it was?
It was the Brainiac casting.
There was another question you had, though. Was that for...
Oh, yeah. It's for when we do that end segment with our 3v3 question.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So... I say we can move to that now if you want.
You want to go ahead and move to that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, because here's the thing: we're going to be able to talk about DC a lot, and as the coming stuff drops and more trailers, we'll have a lot more to talk about, and I think it'll be fun to do like a trailer breakdown.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, as this like first episode and us like letting people kind of get to know us, Tyler's massive DC fan, big Batman fan. Bigger Nightwing fan, though.
Well, bigger Nightwing fan.
Bigger Nightwing fan. I'm a massive... For the people that are watching this, I'm wearing a Batman Forever t-shirt. We both think that's probably one of the most underrated Batman movies of all time, 100%. Right? Right? 100%. Okay. I thought we were on the same board there. Like, dude... I
don't think you can see it from here. I've got the Val Kilmer Batmobile somewhere up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Massive Batman fan on my side. Big Red Hood fan when it comes to the Robins. But I love all the Robins. I really do.
Really? Even Damien?
Even Damien, which is apparently James Gunn's favorite Robin.
Oh, of
So
course it is.
I'll be excited to see when that happens. But yeah, well, now we get to do the fun part, which is like the 3v3. Because,
Yeah.
eventually, if people start listening and they like it and they want to send us questions in, please do. Because it's kind of nice whenever you get random questions that you're not expecting and then you get to honestly react to them. But that's kind of why I was like, Tyler, I got an idea. You pick out 3 questions involving the DC universe and James Gunn and stuff, and I'll pick out 3. We won't talk about them, and we'll bring them up on the podcast, and then we will decide if, and this is for all you internet lovers, if the gun jammed or the gun blammed, as I like to say. So with the questions at the end, if you want to ask me, so are you considering that a jam or a blam? I'll let you know, and then I'll do the same for you. So,
Okay.
real question is, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I can with my first one, I guess.
Okay.
So this is something I thought about looking sort of at the Snyderverse and kind of also looking at the MCU. Do you think, looking at just how James Gunn's doing things, we're going to get individual movies or series before we even get a Justice League at all? Or do you think we're going to get a Justice League and then
Okay.
additional movies?
That's actually a really good question. Because I mean that's one I kind of didn't even really think about. Because I mean, yeah, in like the reverse thought of it, like Snyder was just like Superman, Batman v Superman, Justice League. So really, like they released like Wonder Woman and stuff in between that, but I mean they really just kind of went for it.
Yeah.
Man, I really think Gunn's got a similar, at least because of the fact he's been able to sit there and watch him for so long. I think he's going to be a lot similar to Kevin Feige, where it's going to be like, no, I'm building all of this. I'm going to introduce you to this person and this person and this person, and then the overarching thing will all lead to a Justice League. And I think when we get to a Justice League, it's going to be insane. I think our first Justice League, crossing my fingers, will be not comparable to the first Avengers, but more comparable to Infinity War. I think it's going to be,
Okay.
yeah, and this is just my thoughts, obviously, because I think Gunn's like, no, you got to establish these people now and let it go. Where, like, Avengers, like, you've seen a glimpse of Hawkeye in Thor. You've seen the small role Black Widow had in Iron Man 2. By the time you got to the movie, it kind of focused a little more on them. I think Gunn is like, no, I'm like Mr. Terrific. Like he's building all of these where I'm like, when we get our Justice League movie, I think it's going to be like, you already know these people. The big bad is the problem.
So do you think it's going to be I know we're in the same question, but do you think, going off of your answer, is it going to be a JLU type Justice League, or are we going to go like Core 7 Justice League?
I'm kind of leaning more towards JLU, honestly. I think it, yeah. I mean, like I think it's because he definitely likes being heavily involved with this, at least from what I can tell, like script wise, like the comics, and I feel like in his mind, a team up movie doesn't mean you have 5 people and they're like, oh, we're all humanity's hope. As good as Avengers is, Avengers 1 is a phenomenal movie, and it really made you fall in love with all those. I think the fact that, like, now that it's changed so much from, like, 2012 when that movie came out, because you have TV shows, you have this where you can build these other characters that people will know and love because they watched them at home.
Yeah.
That'll make them want to go see them on the big screen. I think Justice League 1 is going to be just... It might even be Apocalypse and Darkseid, like, from the jump. Like, something happens where, boom, they're on there, and that's, from the jump. But also, I would hope we would kind of shy away from anything Thanos related for a while. Because you don't want the comparisons, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so we would have... I mean, if that's the case, then I wouldn't even go Apocalypse yet, because I wouldn't even bring Darkseid in. I would probably... I don't know who I'd bring in. I don't know what villain I'd bring in for a first Justice League movie. But yeah, I wouldn't go Thanos. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
So, as for your question,
yeah.
I think the gun will definitely blam when it comes to Justice League.
Well, yeah.
I think, I think it is going to cook when we get to that point. But and maybe this is just me. I don't know. I kind of feel like you're similar with Miss, and I hope a lot of the rest of DC fans are similar. I don't want a Justice League movie right out the gate. I don't want 4 films and then boom, Justice League. I want us to build for a while to a Justice League.
Sure.
To where people get to the point where they're clamoring to be like, I need him in a team up. I need to see a team up because I need to know how this character is going to react with this one because you've only ever seen him in passing or they've made mention of him and this character said something. I want it to build. That being said, I think that would be. I think we're so far off from it, but I do think it's going to be a lot more Infinity War level than it's going to be Avengers 1. For me, and this reverts back to the first thing we talked about, or not the first thing because we did the breaking news, but the question I wanted to ask you for my jam or blam: will Supergirl beat Superman's opening weekend at the box office? And before you answer, I want you to take in a few things into account. Okay.
Okay.
What was the highest selling DCEU movie?
Was it Man of Steel?
Nope.
No.
There was one movie that made $1 billion, and it came out around Christmas. And it had a certain actor that is also in Supergirl.
Aquaman?
Aquaman made $1 billion. Yes. Obviously, the second one didn't do so well. But that was kind of during a weird time. Aquaman made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of that was, people are like, oh, a lot of, Jason Momoa fans was like, oh, Jason Momoa covered in water, shirtless half the time. Let's go watch it. While he is going to be shirtless, he's mostly going to be probably painted white for Lobo. But I do think, and if we see more of him, there's a chance. But my question to you was, because of the success of Superman and Peacemaker, Superman didn't do astounding numbers, but it did good numbers. Do you think there's a chance Supergirl, when it drops, could beat it?
Let's see. Oh, it's a tough one because I mean, if we're gonna take what you said, and we're relying it solely on Momoa.
Not even that. I'm relying it on Momoa. I think is a plus side of it, and I think if they market it towards Momoa being in it, that's also going to get a lot more butts and seats too because he's everywhere. Minecraft, Dune, he's in a lot of this stuff now. So there could be a little Momoa fatigue too at some point.
I'm gonna go probably with my own bias right now. I don't think it will. Mainly on the grounds of, we said it, there hasn't been a Supergirl movie since the late 70s, early 80s. The character is somewhat well known, but not, I think, to this degree outside of her fans, like fans of the comics, and maybe the people who watch the TV show, but I just don't think it's going to hit the way Superman did. And so I think it might be a jam on that one. Okay. It'll be a jam. That's just my opinion.
So we're going with a gun jam.
Yeah.
The first ever gun jam in the Duke and Doc DCU adventure, baby.
It's not that I don't. I think the movie will do good, and I think it will do enough to push the franchise forward. I just don't have enough faith in a general audience to say that it's going to do massively great. But that's just my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. I think there's a chance. I really do. I think one, because of as a lot of people consider it, definitely the chronic moviegoers consider it, that trailer, a little bit of a downside that it looked like Guardians. I think it's got the Guardians trailer effect going for it. I think it's got Jason Momoa going for it. I do think the people that loved Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon, you're going to get some Game of Thrones people, I think, that'll want to come watch that.
Yeah.
And then it's Supergirl.
Yeah.
And it also has the real star of the show, Crypto.
That's true.
So,
the only reason to go see the movie right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's... So, I think there's a chance, but I wanted to get your take on it, too, because I'm like, man, Superman was awesome. And I'm glad people showed up and watched it. I think piggybacking off of it, there's a chance Supergirl beats it.
I mean, what you're saying makes sense. It's just, I guess for me, I have to let it cook for a little bit.
Right.
I need another trailer. Give me another trailer that doesn't feel like Guardians 3 and we'll be good. All right. So, my question for you.
Question 2. Let's bring
question number 2. This is going a direction that we don't quite know yet, so it's more speculation, of course. But do you think that Gunn is going to he's going to focus in on the Bat family at all, or do you think he's just going to do Bruce and Damian and possibly Nightwing?
Okay. So do I think Gunn's going to be like more Bat family focused with his DCU, or like is that what you're asking?
Well, with his Batman side of DCU, like whenever we get into the Batman movies, are we going to have the whole lineage of the Bat family, or are we just going to focus in on Damian? So kind of like what the animated universe did, where it was Damian, Nightwing, and Bruce, and then you kind of got Batwing in there and Batwoman, but really it was just those three.
Man, that's another banger question, honestly. That's a good one, Tyler. I think so. We've got as long as it doesn't get canceled or canned, we've got the like almost like clay stop motion animation dynamic duo movie coming. That's supposed to be technically the origins of Dick and Jason.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
that's like what 2027, I think, because they're doing it like it's an animation claymation style, like kind of like I'm assuming like Chicken Run a little bit, kind of like that. Yeah. Which is I think will be cool because that's looking at it from that standpoint. This is where I go back to the fact that James Gunn's not greenlighting people and just big name directors or big name actors to play certain characters in his universe. He's greenlighting good scripts or stuff he's read that he thinks is good.
Yeah.
So I think we got that. That I love because, as you and me both know, literally. As a Red Hood fan and a Nightwing fan, awesome that we're going to get that.
Yeah.
Dude, I really hope they focus in on all of the Bat family. All of the Bat family. And I think the fact that Gunn pretty much has said, like, his favorite Robin is Damian, and that's who he wants to, like, be the Robin in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because then that gives you a lot more leeway to not get trapped in the, okay, well, this Robin's here. Okay, he's starting to get older. Let's drop him, give him a solo, or put him in a team-up movie, and let's now introduce this Robin. And then a couple years later, this one had a falling out. Now we've got another. Like, this, you've already had all of these Robins established.
Yeah.
Damian's just now the one that's taken over, and all of the other ones that have failed or whatever, Damian's going to use that to his advantage. But also, the other Robins will be older, and we'll get to see, like, oh, there's Red Hood, or there's Red Robin. But also, to that same flip side, it wouldn't be a bad thing to kind of do what the animated movies did. That's what a lot of us have been wanting online, is like, take everything you're doing with your animated movies and do it in live action because it's working over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think at least whoever ends up doing it, because I know like Andy Muschietti was supposed to be doing the Brave and the Bold movie.
I'm so glad he's not, though. That's just my opinion.
I don't know. Welcome to Derry was phenomenal, and he really killed that. But that might be his avenue. That might be where he's the best at. I think the gun will blam on the Bat family. I think because of the dynamic duo movie, and then because he wants it, I'm assuming, to be Damian for the Robin in the DC universe. I definitely think we're going to get probably a Stephanie Brown and maybe even a Batwing and stuff like that.
Throwing Stephanie in there. No one appreciates Stephanie at all.
No, exactly. And I think that's Gunn's thing, man. He's like, there's so many of these other great characters. Like, we can't just focus on the big name ones all the time. We gotta let these other ones breathe because they got such well fleshed out stories that you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going Blam.
Okay.
It's a Blam for this one for Gunn.
Okay. Cool.
All right, my second question for you, which I'm gonna mark that one complete. What DC character that hasn't been announced yet do you want to see in the DC?
Question.
That was fast. That was good though. That would be all. I didn't even think about the question. Yeah. Okay. What's your
favorites?
Okay, I was gonna say, what's other than obviously him being your favorite, like why you think the question?
So kind of what you said, he likes I think a Peacemaker. He likes the characters that people don't know, and really, and the question isn't that popular, and I think he would almost fit up Gunn's alley, anyways. Just his style, and I don't know. In this world that they have with all the metahumans, I think just having this regular guy, ugly guy with a mask, who's super intelligent and questions everything, is a skeptic. Like, I think that would be a beautiful addition to the world that Gunn's creating. Because you have Peacemaker over here, who's the F up, who's trying to be a hero, can never get it right. And you've got Clark over here, who is the god who is trying to be human, who wants to be human because he was raised human, and now we've got Kara, and it's like, then we've got the Lanterns. I just want to see a regular person now, and I think the question would be beautiful as a character.
Good. That's good. Okay. Say the question is coming.
Yeah.
Who would you fan cast to play them? Who would you fan cast to direct it? Because we'll just say script is beautiful. It's going to be a great one. But obviously, I feel like you'd want a visual style with that.
So for him, it doesn't really fit Gunn's vibe. But I think that's good. I think it's good that it wouldn't fit Gunn's vibe. I would honestly go Nolan for the director of this one.
Okay.
I would go Nolan, and then to play the question, I want. Let me see. Man, who would I want? I didn't even think about, like, I've never thought about who I'd want to play the question. Man, I don't know. Man, I got to think about that one. That's so tough. I'm gonna go with an outlandish answer in my mind because it's what's coming to my head, and I know people are gonna be like, "That doesn't seem right," but I think he could do it. Martin Freeman.
Wow, I was not okay. Okay. No, that kind of cooks, honestly. Yeah. I was kind of thinking, like, I hate even that I'm even saying this, like Matt Damon.
Ooh. I didn't know that.
Almost like a detective noir style movie. Yeah, Martin Freeman would be so cool. That would be so awesome, bro.
I was either thinking Martin Freeman or even Andy Serkis popped in my head, but I was like, he already plays Alfred in The Batman, and so I know that's not DCU technically, but I was like, I think Martin Freeman would just blow people away because you can't. It's hard to visualize that, but I think he would kill it. He's a good actor, so I think it would test his limits as an actor too.
Okay. Well, then for our jam or blam portion of that, the likelihood that we get a question, show, or movie. Would it be a jam or a blam?
Movie would be a jam. Series would be a blam. I think it'd be something that Gunn could do and would do. So I think a blam on that.
Okay. So a question series, James Gunn, if you ever listen to this, and you haven't thought of this yet, Martin Freeman is probably available. And with the WB Netflix merger, that would be such a cool way to bring that on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be dope. That was a good one. I was not expecting you to say that, but this is why I'm glad we did this. Because this is so cool, because that's the best thing about this new DC universe is there's so much they can do.
Yeah.
And there's so much that still is probably behind the scenes already being worked on that we don't even know about, that we're going to get to talk about.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, yeah. Okay. All right, let me get that third question. Let's hear it.
All right. Yes. So this is kind of still in the Batman realm, because that's your realm anyways.
Of course.
Do you believe that, do you think, going off of the Gunn aesthetic so far, looking at Peacemaker, Superman, even Supergirl, even though he didn't direct that, do you believe when he gets to the Batman movie, it's going to have a rock aesthetic to it like every other piece of the franchise has so far? And do you think that'll work?
So you're saying, do I think it's going to have, the James Gunn flavor to it?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on if Gunn's the one that's okay, nothing's getting done with these scripts. I'm going to write a Batman script.
Sure.
After Man of Tomorrow, obviously. But I really think he's enjoying playing in Superman's world, and I think with that cast, and more than likely, we're probably going to get a Superman trilogy, I think, with Gunn.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So my thought process, at least for that, just to kind of get it out of the way, that way I can kind of tell you where I'm going with this. I think Gunn will do 3 Superman movies while he has all these other people building out, and then I think he'll be the one to direct the Justice League.
Okay.
Because I think he very much wants to establish that first phase. Gunn wants his fingers all over it. That being said, I don't want it to have a rock aesthetic. When I got to the last episode of Peacemaker Season 2, I was like, there's a lot that I'm starting to notice with Superman and obviously Guardians, but he's very much got a flavor, and that's fine. There's a lot of stuff that works for.
Yeah.
The end of Peacemaker Season 2, which I know everybody went into that with high hopes. I'm going to see Blue Beetle, and it ended up being just the band that played the opening was in the episode, and they did a live performance. As cool as that is, I think that's probably the part that felt the most out of place. Because I know the whole build up was to what happened on the boat, and then it gets revealed that they went to that concert and they kind of talked and pretty much realized they were in love with each other. But when it got to that point, I'm just man, this almost kind of feels forced. And I know Matt Reeves kind of has a little bit of a rock vibe because he's got a lot of he was writing the Batman script while listening to Nirvana, and it very much feels heavily Nirvana influenced. My hope is we get a gothic noir style Batman. Almost the way Gotham looks in the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
I want that. I want those weird long buildings with the weird window shapes. Yeah. I want the cars to kind of look like they're from a different century. Or definitely a different decade. But I don't think it'll have a rock aesthetic. At least I hope. If it did, at least for me, I think the Gunn would jam. I think that would be one thing that I would be, if you're going to touch Batman and you're going to do Batman, there's a lot of stuff you can do with Batman. But there's also a lot of characters in just the Batman side of thing that a rock aesthetic would work for, but not Batman.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. So I do agree. Because I was thinking about Batman Forever. There was never a moment where his Batman Val Kilmer's Batman was around that, but Chris O'Donnell's Dick Grayson, because he wasn't around until the end of the movie, but like when he went to the gang, like he stole the Batmobile and he was around the gang, and they had that weird hip hop rock kind of music in that world. I think that could work. But as for the whole like aesthetic of the movie, I do agree that I think it would jam pretty bad if it like you had like a punk rock Bruce Wayne. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah. Now, that being said, if Gunn ends up deciding to do a Batman movie, I have faith it would be good. And I have faith that he would definitely pull from a lot of his favorite comics.
Sure.
I don't want, at one point in the movie, there's a song breakdown while Batman and Robin are fighting a bunch of thugs, and it looks like a music video. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that might happen in the Nightwing and Red Hood thing, though. Like that movie, the claymation. Because I could see that to those two characters specifically. I could see that.
Yeah.
And reading the Nightwing comics that I've read, I can see that when Nightwing fights. Same thing with Red Hood. But I do agree with Batman. It does not work at all.
Yeah, and see, that's going back to my point. There's plenty of Bat family members I think it would work for. Batman himself, I think you got to go a different route.
I think he's the only character it doesn't work for.
I think it just makes it really weird. And I think if you're trying to bring your Batman fans to the theater and also bring more of the general audience, I think that would be a good way to turn a lot of people off.
Yeah,
that would be one of those things, kind of like I was saying earlier, where I get in fear anytime a new Batman thing is being made and it's directly involving like Bruce Wayne Batman.
Yeah,
because I'm like, if this one sucks, it's going to set back a lot of things. Because at the end of the day, you can argue with me until you're blue in the face. Batman is the biggest draw for DC.
Oh yeah,
Superman's close. Batman's the biggest draw because people love Batman. If your Batman sucks, your DC's gonna suck.
Oh yeah. Well, that's even true with the merchandise too, not just the movies. Like Spin Master, who makes the baseline toys, like their whole thing is Batman. There's some like Superman and whatnot, but it's mainly the Batman franchise, and even kind of McFarlane. Like most of his stuff is a lot of it's Batman. So,
yeah, bro will do a new wave of figures, and there's like at least 3 Batmans in there. Yeah. And he's done a different like color. Or...
Yeah. 3 different Batman with a Build-A-Figure inside each of those to make another Batman.
Which, I mean, I get it. There's been like 75 plus years of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense. And Superman, there's been a lot of different Superman. That's why it's crazy that we're just now getting getting a Brainiac on the big screen. We're just now getting good Superman content, but that just shows how the people that have been running DC and Warner Brothers previously, all their thought process was Batman. Because we did get a lot of Batman stuff. Oh, yeah. And it's fine because the Dark Knight trilogy, these...
Yeah.
A lot of people became fans because of those.
Oh, yeah.
But you had to go off the back of Batman to build the rest of this.
Yeah.
So, I think for sure, to answer your question, the gun would jam if we have a rock aesthetic for our Batman out.
Fair enough.
So my question... because we haven't really talked about it a lot, and I know how both of us feel, and I know who I think both of our favorites are. But do you think, with the age difference, I'm assuming it'll be a kind of a thing in the show, do you think DC is making the right choice by having Jon Stewart be the main Green Lantern?
Yes.
You're like, this isn't even a question. Yes, because I mean, there's a lot of people that really love Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan's awesome. There's a lot you could do with Hal Jordan too. Even like the New 52 Justice League, when that team got put together, it was Hal Jordan. And I know there's a lot of people upset with the fact that I can't remember who's playing Hal Jordan. His name, Kyle. But the biggest thing is, while he's looking that up, is the age. People are like, why are you giving me old, decrepit Grandpa Hal Jordan, and then I get young Jon Stewart?
Yeah, Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, yeah, that's who it was. Which, I think he's going to kill it. I think he's going to do a really good job. But I also think John was always my favorite, and it's probably mostly because of the Justice League animated show.
Yep.
That was my Green Lantern. But I'm just like, man, he brings something. Because when all else fails, and say Batman and Superman are off, and the Justice League are doing this without them, he's the Rock. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's
Yeah.
the one that's like stoic and calm and level-headed, and he's prepared for war. Where you got the funny, Barry Allen or Wally West, and then Aquaman's typically kind of stoic, but Aquaman's also very like, I really could care less what happens to the Earth people at this point because I got to take care of my kingdom too. So I don't. That my main question was, do you think that's the right choice by going with
Yeah.
older Hal Jordan, and then John
Yes.
Stewart?
So the reason why is because Gunn set it up at the beginning of Superman that the fact that metahumans have been around for years at this point on Earth. So we're coming. It's not like Snyderverse where Superman was. I mean, we had Batman, but Superman was kind of really the thing that started the whole
Busted
thing.
everything open.
Yeah, and the thing is, Clark becoming Superman wasn't. It was this big thing, but it wasn't the start of supers in the world. And so I think having Hal be older is okay because you also said too that our generation grew up with John Stewart as Green Lantern. And so with these movies, I mean, we're in our 30s now, so it's a little different, but with these movies, they kind of are aimed towards us and younger, I think, at that point too. So
Right.
I think to capitalize that, I think the age gap between Hal and John is okay. I think the fact is you want John to be younger because depending on how long these movies last, you know, I mean, Avengers has been going on for what? Over
10 years.
Yeah. So
2012 was the first Avengers movie.
So you know, we're gonna have a long time with that character. So to have, you know, a young John Stewart, I think is a good idea. And then you can have an older Hal Jordan and have him kind of age out because I don't think he's going to be a primary focus after Lanterns is over. Same thing with Guy Gardner. I don't think really once I think Justice League is established, I don't think Guy Gardner's Lantern is going to be around a whole lot. That's just my opinion. I think he's there to start the Justice Gang, and then once they have a better Lantern, he's gonna be gone.
Now, do you think he'll be gone like no longer needed, or you think they'll kill him off?
I think they'll kill him off. I think so. It's that's the vibe I get, and it could be a while till it happens. I don't think he'll be killed off in Lanterns, but I just feel like his importance, just because of how poor the character is. The character is written well, but the character is such a jerk.
Yeah.
In that world.
Poor excuse of a lantern.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna want that as your, you know, prime focus of the Lanterns. So, I also think they might kill Hal Jordan off too. I just see that as a passing of the torch thing, and that kind of goes back to our Batman conversation. The only way that Damian works is if Bruce is older and is already established in the world. And so I actually think the newest heroes to this world are going to be Clark and Kara. I think everybody else has already been established, but we're just going to see them in their own projects. So
okay,
that's
so you're okay. Well, so then you're thinking this is a gun bland for them going John Stewart.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right. I do think it's smart that they're doing like a buddy cop, true detective style show for this, because if you would have been like, all right, we're doing Green Lantern again, but this time it's John Stewart, just so we can get the bad taste of Ryan Reynolds' movie out of everybody's mouth. I do think it's great that they're like, no, it's going to be John Stewart and Hal Jordan, but Hal Jordan's going to be like the older mentor that's been through it.
Well, that's also in the comics too, like old school comics. When John was introduced, Hal was kind of his mentor. John, there was a whole story arc where John got like super offended. I don't remember exactly what happened, and Hal was the one who kind of had to correct him, if I remember correctly. So they already had like this sort of buddy cop relationship at one point in the comics too. So I almost wonder if they're just playing off of that. I'm actually getting, and it might be the old white guy and the young black guy vibe, but I'm getting Men in Black vibes from it.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Um, and
It
it would
is
make
kinda...
sense because they're pretty much space cops. So
Yeah. Yeah. Fighting extraterrestrial life
yeah,
forms and protecting Earth. Yeah. That would be kind of cool. If we got like true Detective Men in Black Green Lanterns, that would be kind of dope,
yeah,
honestly. Yeah, now that I
that'd be
think
really
about
cool.
it. I'm hoping... I think my biggest worries for that show is they're going to have it so grounded. I know there's been like some early like reaction. I guess some people have either like seen some like trailer or they've seen an episode or something. But I know they're like apparently the suits are practical, which is awesome because the CGI thing you probably want to stay away from.
Yeah,
But I'm just a little worried. Like everything so far I've seen is them what looks to be like on Earth, walking around either on down a road or, and I'm just like, okay, if one of you, if not possibly both of you, are Green Lanterns, why are we walking? Did you lose the power to your rings? Like, is something going on the Green Lantern homeworld? Like, what's happening where this is going on? Which, of course, the trailer and then the show eventually is probably going to explain it. But I'm just like, for this to be the kickoff for Lanterns, I really hope that them doing this to where it looks like it's just a buddy cop drama is hiding the fact that, like, maybe like it's like a Welcome to Derry. The first 5 episodes, you know something's there and you know the craziness is about to hit, and then come episode 5 and then beyond, boom, full blown space, intergalactic stuff, all the stuff we haven't seen from either trailers or photos, like, you know, that would be required with like CGI and stuff. They're gonna bust that out in the first season.
yeah, I agree.
So that would be for you a gun blam. We got another
Yeah.
gun blam, which we probably should have took a tally, but I think we only had two.
We only had two. Yeah, two.
Well, because yours was kind of like
Blams.
a two-parter on the question one, because you said if it was a series, it would be a blam, but if you think they made a question movie, it would be a jam.
Yeah, because not enough people know who the question is.
Right.
And so I think
Right.
we'd have to have a series for it.
I agree.
But yeah, no, those are good questions. That was.
I agree, and I'm excited for more because there's a lot of things that I know we haven't even touched on, and I'm excited because if we do get people that like this podcast, you guys are really going to hear us dive into characters like the Joker,
Yeah.
who nobody's really been talking about because it's all about who's going to be Batman. Is it Brandon Skellnar? Is it Alan Richardson? Are
Yeah.
we just going to pull Robert Pattinson? That's a whole nother episode of a podcast I think we could talk about, is the idea of Robert Pattinson being the DCU Batman. I have strong feelings on that, and it's something that we definitely should talk about in an episode.
Oh yeah.
And there's probably going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that agree with me on it. And I don't even know how you feel 100% about it, because at the end of the day, I don't think he's a bad Batman, and I like the Batman movie and everything, but I feel a certain way when it comes to his name and the DCU in general.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it on a different episode, but I if it's the same feeling I have, I definitely understand where you're coming from. It kind of ties in what you were saying about Lanterns almost being too grounded. And this goes back to an earlier question that I had about, the rock aesthetic being in Batman. If the gun universe is going to be that lively, it's going to be hard to have these different feeling shows. And I think that's kind of what happened with MCU as well, is we started to have different genres pop up, and you end up separating the world that way to where it doesn't feel like it's a shared universe anymore. It just, they end up coming together for one movie, but now there's no connection because when
Everything
I
else
watch
is just
Batman,
so different.
yeah, when I watch Batman, it's a dark noir, but when I watch Superman, it's a punk rock superhero, and then when I watch, Wonder Woman, it's some like
Period
woman,
piece.
yeah, period, yeah, and it's like, let's make sure they all fit in the same world. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that was a little bit of the problem with like the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Was that like, which I think that's kind of what I liked about Batman v Superman. I wish they would have leaned a little bit more towards showing the lighter side of like Metropolis, because when we did the Gotham stuff in Batman, it was dark. It was almost like horror movie dark. Like Batman was like a creature to people in Gotham.
Yeah.
when it's showing Superman investigating this stuff, I almost wish it would have been like completely different lighting, where you're like, wow, this almost feels like I'm watching two movies,
two different movies, yeah,
at the same time. Because like, just like the animated series, Batman the animated series, you watch that, it is this dark gothic noir, and then when you watch Superman the animated series, you're like, this is a cartoon.
Oh yeah, 100%.
This is like a fun, brightly colored cartoon. And I know the biggest thing people have had ever since the Nolan stuff is DC's too dark. It's too dark everything. Everything's got to be dark. It's got to be grounded. It's got to be just dark, dark, dark. So I do like, that's what I did like about James Gunn's Superman, is I'm like, this feels like a comic book.
Yeah.
This feels like I'm reading a Superman comic book, which would be completely different than reading a Batman comic book.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're wearing a Batman Forever shirt, which is one of my favorite Batman films. And the thing is that I think if that movie would have been done the way that they had planned for it to be done, I think it would be what we're talking about, though. It would be the perfect bridge to have the realism of Batman, but yet also feel like a comic book at the same time. And which is what I think we need for a Gunn Batman movie.
I 100% agree with you, solely for the fact that I feel like they're too scared now to do anything almost in the vein of like these style of movies.
Yeah.
And just like you said, a lot of the people that's going to the theater watching their movies are the kids that grew up with these movies.
Yep.
So as much as these movies get clowned on, mostly for the nipples on the Batsuit, we get it, it's funny. There's a lot of good in there too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they got big name actors. You got Jim Carrey to play the Riddler.
Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones.
Robin Williams at one point was going to play him.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams was at one point going to play Joker for Burton's movie, and then they used him as a ploy to get Jack Nicholson to agree to it. Like, you got like Danny DeVito was huge at that time because he had twins and all that other stuff. Like, that's how you're going to bring a lot of these good actors into these movies, is not being afraid of the material you've got. And that's why I am excited, and I know we'll talk about it more definitely when we get another trailer or anything more, but Clayface. I love that pretty much the closest thing other than the little scene we had in Creature Commandos with Batman, there's more than likely the first time we see anything similar to what we're going to see with Batman will probably be in Clayface. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about. The DC universe is getting big. It's expanding. I'm so excited to dig into it, though.
Yeah.
Excited to dig into it with you because we do very much love our DC. Yeah. If anything, if this podcast does anything, let's talk about the fun stuff. Yeah. You know? We don't always, like, just like you were saying, you're on the side of the internet where every time you read a comment section, it's just hate, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But he's hating and angry, like, dude, we went and watched Superman and everybody was having a blast. I seen TikTok edits for, weeks after that movie, and I'm just like, yeah, we did it. We're back, baby. We're so back.
Well, I'm working on the intro for the podcast currently, and I'm using clips from the movie, and I'm like, still don't know why people hate this movie. Like, it's so fun. It's such a fun movie. It's what we as kids we would have loved that movie. So it's anyway.
I don't know. It's got to be the people that think Corn Sweat Superman is a downgrade from Cavill's. As cool as Cavill's was, I'm not gonna lie. The more I look at the shiny suit, I hate it. Yeah. I'm starting to hate the Man of Steel suit. Now, don't get me wrong. There's stuff with the Superman suit I don't necessarily care for. I understand the complaint that it looks like he's wearing pajamas at times.
That's fair.
I think it's a little overreactive, but I also think, I'm like, this is his first Superman movie. If you don't think we're going to see an evolve of that over time, and we got the trunks. We got the trunks outside of the suit. Come on.
Yeah. People complain about that too.
Yeah.
But I think about Captain America. Like, his suit evolved as the movies went on.
Yep.
And same with Tony Stark. Like, the Iron Man suit evolved as it went on. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. People complain because they want to complain.
Yeah.
But
well, we're here to shut the complainers up, and let's talk about the fun side of things, and that is the DC universe under the Netflix Warner Brothers umbrella.
All right. Well, I think that's it for today's episode. It was a lot of fun. Glad you guys are able to join us. If you want to see more of us, we are doing a podcast as well. It's a Nightwing audio drama. Jordan and I are both in it. Currently, I am working on episode 2. It's taking forever, but it will be out here shortly. This will probably be out before that. But anyways, any last comments, thoughts?
No, if you guys like this, just make sure, drop a follow, leave comments. Like I was saying earlier in the episode, like, send us some questions. Like, in the comment section, give us a question. Me and Tyler, I mean, I'm sure we're going to be looking at it and going over it and be like, oh, God, there's a bunch of haters out today. But when we see those beautiful gems of questions, there's a good chance we're probably going to put, like, a question segment in this podcast to talk about the DC universe. I love questions. I think that'd be awesome. I know there's a big DC fandom out there. I know you guys are, like, wanting material. Well, that's what we've been wanting. It's like, man, you can't really find any good, like, social media that's just talking about DC. There's a lot of people that cover everything. Ours, it's like, let's start and let's just talk about DC and the fact that, like, there's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope, and there's literally, we're finally seeing that big bright light. Yeah. So, I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys, hope you guys enjoy this podcast. This is the first episode of the Duke and Doc DCU Adventure podcast. Yeah. I've had a lot of fun. I'm excited to talk more. There's a lot of stuff we got to talk about. So if you guys do like this, come back, drop a follow, leave a like, leave a question. Don't be scared. I know you got questions. I got questions. Tyler's got to answer my questions. Let's make him answer yours too. So, but all right, guys.
This will be on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify as well, I believe. So, we will see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks for listening.
All right, bye.